Okay, we are live with yet another interesting video coming your way. I'm sure this title is going to grab a lot of eyeballs. What are the similarity between sales and dating? I recently wrote this article on LinkedIn, and trust me, there are a lot of similarities. First thoughts, Jerry. I'm not going to ask you. I'm sure you've done a lot of both.
Absolutely. Though today I may look elder, but sometime I was 22.
Absolutely.
And yes, dating is a where you want to date a point of your life where you want to look the best,
True.
where you want to behave the best. Whether it's like going out on a fishing.
Right.
That's what I feel about dating, and uh, the you got to wear the best clothes.
Right.
You got to have that class,
Right.
that panache, and you in your mind, in your heart, you're thinking, how can I impress
Right. Yeah.
the girl I'm dating?
Anyway, so coming to the first point. The first point is don't jump into it. What happens is you can't ask for marriage on the first date. You have to go on multiple dates. You need to know the other person, build rapport, build likability, build trust, and only then you can take the relationship forward. So is the case with sales, Jerry.
Absolutely. And when you're going to meet the customer for the first time, do your due diligence, research about the person, the personality, his likes, his dislikes, how sensitive a person is, and what are his hobbies, interests, so that when you are in front of him, you can look for commonalities,
Right.
where you can connect. It could be a language. Like the other day, when I met a customer, and the conversation went on, and then suddenly when I told him that I worked for Eureka Forbes long back,
Right.
he came back and told me, I also started my career there. So there's a emotional connect.
Right.
And once the connect is there, then you can take forward the relationship.
Right. But don't try to do this in the very first pitch. You're not out there to sell, you're out there to build a relationship, and selling will be a byproduct of that relationship. So that's very important both in dating and in sales. Make sure that you are building sufficient rapport before you actually pitch. The next point is don't just talk about yourself, right? And it's like again very crucial. So when it comes to dating, if you're only talking about yourself, trust me, there won't be that second date. You've got to get to know the other person, make that person feel special. And when you apply the same thing to sales, you just can't talk about how great your company is, how many decades you've been in the market, the Fortune 500 clients that you have, the recent awards that you won. All that is great, but hey, this is not about just you. It's important to show that as credibility down the line, when you're trying to establish credibility. But upfront, if you're throwing off all of this, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. My strategy,
Right.
give the customer significance and importance.
Right.
He's the most valued person in front of you.
Right.
Apart from that, that's a way to influence him.
Right.
And apart from that, try to extract maximum information from him.
Right.
What are his expectations? What is he looking forward to?
True.
So it's less about you and more about the customer.
Absolutely. So keep the customer in mind, right? As they say, they don't care for how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
True.
Right? So show that part of you and not just, how great you are. All right, the third point, very interesting one. There's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Now, you may be envious of a lot of your friends who are going on dates very regularly, right? You always have that one friend for sure, who's always going out on a date fairly regularly. But what that friend won't tell you is that for every one date, that he set up, there are 7 to 9 rejections or even more. So basically, sales is a game of numbers.
Absolutely.
Right? For that every one yes, how many no's?
Depends on your industry, depends on your sales
Right.
count. It could be 10, it could be 12.
Right.
How many in a day, in a month, we ourselves face rejection?
Right, absolutely.
Not everyone
does.
buys from us. Not everyone, does a transaction with us. Not everyone gives us business. But you have to learn to take the rejection in your stride.
True.
And one strategy I apply is I don't take anything professionally or personally, to my heart.
Right.
I just let it go.
It's Jay, I'm going to cut you short there. It's easy to say but difficult to do. Tell us, how do you do it?
How do you do is that you don't take the customer's inputs very seriously. I mean, he may reject you, but that does not see. You got to go deep and you got to be mature enough to understand he's not rejecting you as a person.
Right.
He may not have the budget.
Right.
He may not be looking for the right fit. Your product may not be the right fit.
Right.
Maybe he may having you have to show more empathy towards him.
Right.
Try to understand him and think that he may have various reasons for not accepting or buying your product at that particular time. If you understand from behind, you go behind his eyeballs and understand, it will be much more easier for you to understand.
Very good point JD just mentioned. You got to build the maturity that the rejection is not you, but circumstances, if I got that right. So that's how you've got to build yourself, where you don't take anything at face value, in the sense you just you don't take it personally, and you build that maturity around it. All right. The fourth point is confidence. Confidence still works. I know it's a word we've said it too many times, but on a date, you might not be the best looking guy. Okay, you might not have the best of the vocabulary, that fancy vocabulary, be that fluent in English, but if you carry yourself well, you have confidence. Trust me, there's a very good chance you'll land up the second date and the dates after that, right? So confidence is key. Confidence is everything. Confidence is 50% of the game already won when it comes to sales. JD.
Your confidence speaks a lot when you're in front of your customer. In fact, your confidence about your product, about the value it brings, actually transfers to the customer.
True.
And how do you get the transfer, the confidence, Anmol? You get that confidence when you are thorough with your product.
True.
When you're thorough with your competition.
When you can give insights to the customer.
Absolutely. When you know in and out about the industry you're functioning in.
Right.
The customer, you may be the best. You may be the most confident, but still the customer may not buy. But even then, you don't have to lose your confidence.
True.
Your shoulders, does not need to drool down or drop down.
Right.
The more you face rejection, the more phantom you have to become.
Absolutely.
The more charged you have to become. The more confident you have to become. And it comes with practice. It comes with determination. It comes with grit, and it's all about that.
Absolutely. So that even if you're a lot of people say how do a different high pricing, again, if you show that confidence, right, the customer will know, hey, there's something differentiating you. So extremely crucial. Coming to our last point, it's easy to get into a relationship, difficult to sustain one. And then I think that makes a lot of sense, both in dating and sales. Easy to get into a relationship. You go on a first date, you go on multiple dates, you propose, and now you're into a relationship, but very difficult to sustain, because that's when you really get to know the person on a date. Everyone's on your best behavior. A lot of salespeople think that once they sign the deal, the sales is done. Now they can take a back seat. But post-sales service, extremely crucial. What's your take on it?
The sales psyche is what I've raised the invoice. I've got the money. My responsibility is over.
Right.
But I tell this to salespeople: your responsibility just begins when you close the deal.
Right.
When you connect to the customer again.
Right.
And after 3 weeks, after you have sold the product, you talk to your customer and ask him, are you, struggling with something so far? Are you comfortable with the product?
Correct.
Is anything bothering you? That is empathy. That is emotional intelligence.
True.
That is connecting and more heart to heart.
True.
And that customer, I tell you,
Right.
I am telling this with some, conviction, with experience. That customer will never dump you at any moment.
True.
He'll be with you. He'll give you many opportunity to do business with you.
Right.
And it's all about that connect.
Absolutely.
That
So
value.
I hope you like this this very interesting analogy. I'll quickly summarize for all of you. This is similarity between sales and dating. Number one, don't jump into it, which is don't push for your sales in the first go. Build a relationship. Sales will happen as a byproduct. The second thing is just don't talk about yourself. You're here to solve the customer's problem. Don't pile on all your credentials right away. Help him solve his problem. There's plenty of fish in the sea. This is a numbers game. You've got to pitch, and pitch. That's the only way this works. Confidence still works. Your confidence, your body language, the way you present yourself, extremely crucial, non-negotiable when it comes to sales. And it's easy to get into a relationship, but difficult to sustain one. Post-sales service is everything, because that alone is going to drive a lot of referrals. Remember, if they like your product or service, they're going to tell to 10 people. But if they don't, they're going to tell to 1,000 people.
Oh yeah, what
Which is a bigger problem. Negativity spreads faster.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where the challenge is. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Our vision with Sales 5X is to add 5X value to you. What we try to do is come live 6 p.m. Pretty much every day. And we bring you some interesting stuff which actually works. You can implement this. If you're watching this and show this to your sales team. I'm sure this is just a 10-minute watch. It might just help them, change their perspective about, why sales are not happening. Do subscribe to this channel. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow.
If not tomorrow, Monday for sure.
Monday for sure. By the way, JD is going to be live at News 9. He's an expert cricket panelist with News 9. And they invite him to give his comments about the World Cup. He used to play in his younger days. He's a professional cricketer as well. Do watch News 9
at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock
in the noon. Tomorrow, India versus Afghanistan match is there. So we'll be happy to connect to you there.
But before I go, JD, who's winning tomorrow? I mean,
it's
India, of course. There's hardly. How many runs? Give. Let me see if you really get this right. Let me see your cricket expert skills.
Tomorrow, if we bat first, we'll win by 100 runs. 100 runs. If we are chasing, we'll win by 6 wickets.
All right, there the word goes. I'm going to hold JD accountable on Monday in the next video.
Right.
So if we bat first, 100 runs is the margin. If we bat second, by 6 wickets is
6 wickets.
Let's see how close our expert can be to reality. Cheers, guys.
All right.
We will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.